Last week, market sentiment was mainly determined by the news around stimulus talks in the US. The lawmakers failed to reach a compromise once again. However, US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi continues to support optimism among investors, saying that the economic relief package could still be approved before the presidential election. On Friday, the US dollar index, which measures its value against a basket of 6 world currencies, slipped below 92.80, having lost 1.01% over the week. Investors are evaluating the last presidential debate and negotiations over the stimulus package. Joe Biden and Donald Trump had their final debate on Thursday, ahead of the presidential election next week. Democrats continue leading the polls. As for the long-term trend, the US dollar has been depreciating since mid-May and has dropped by almost 5% year-on-year amid growing optimism about the global economic recovery, especially in China. In the previous week, the single European currency advanced by 1.18% against the weaker US dollar and closed the session at 1.1860. The euro-dollar pair managed to hit a 5.5-week high. However, preliminary estimates of business activity in EU key economic sectors limit the optimism of the euro bulls. At the same time, the euro benefits from the progress in Brexit negotiations. The British pound also gained 1.05% in weekly trade, closing the session at 1.3040. On Wednesday, the pound-dollar pair reached its highest level over the past 6 weeks. This rise happened amid hopes for the progress in the trade deal, since representatives from the UK and the EU are ready to resume negotiations. Meanwhile, the UK and Japan have officially signed a trade agreement, which means that nearly all UK exports to Japan will be tariff-free. What's more, British tariffs on Japanese cars will be removed by 2026, marking the UK's first big post-Brexit deal. However, optimistic sentiment is restricted by preliminary PMI data, which has indicated a slowdown in business activity for the first time since June. Among other European currencies, the Swiss franc displayed positive dynamics, having gained 1.19% against the US dollar. The dollar-franc pair fell to its lowest level since August 31st, as the demand for safe haven assets is growing amid a rapid spread of coronavirus across the world, and especially in Europe. The crypto market also sets new records. Thus, Bitcoin surged to a year high, breaking above the level of $13,000. A boost in demand and price of Bitcoin came amid the news that payment service giant PayPal will now allow its users to sell and buy the cryptocurrency with its online wallets. PayPal hopes that this will encourage global use of virtual coins. In the meantime, the oil market seems far less optimistic. Last week, oil quotes dropped, marking their first serious decline in 3 weeks. The North Sea grade Brent closed the session at $41.64 per barrel, which is 3.05% lower than the opening price. Mounting worries that the spread of the pandemic will dent fuel demand put pressure on oil quotes. At the same time, further losses were capped by the statement from the president of Russia. On Thursday, Vladimir Putin announced that Russia was ready to extend the deal on record output cuts due to a sharp increase in the number of coronavirus cases in the United States and Europe. As for gold, it remained almost unchanged over the week and closed the trade at $1,901 per troy ounce. This week, markets will focus on the US GDP growth in the third quarter, as well as on household income and durable goods orders. Investors will also wait for the ECB and the Bank of Japan to announce their decisions on monetary policy. Besides, traders will keep an eye on negotiations in the US Congress and the progress in Brexit talks. You've watched the combined review of financial markets with me, Anna Kasatkina. Stay tuned.